What's up, my comic comrades? Back in October, we covered the first issue of a stupid fun new title for DC called Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong, which combines the DC universe with Godzilla, King Kong, and the Monsterverse. Well, a few days ago, issue 2 dropped and picked up with Superman going to battle against the king of monsters himself, Godzilla. But it doesn't go the way many of us may have thought, and it's amazing. Real quick, before we get into exactly what went down, a quick reminder about our big Super Santa live giveaway show coming up on December 14th on the Variant Whatnot. We're going to be giving away crazy stuff, and you don't want to miss that. All the details for how to join the show and participate in the giveaways are in the description, so make sure to lock that in and set your notifications. Alright, so at the end of issue 1, the Legion of Doom accidentally got transported to Skull Island on another Earth. This ultimately leads to them finding out this island is full of massive monsters, or titans rather. Toyman becomes very interested in these creatures and eventually uses the Dreamstone that he stole from Superman's Fortress of Solitude to wish himself, the Legion of Doom, and all these creatures back to his Earth, so that he could use these titans, or toys as he calls them, to play with the Justice League. So with the titans now in the DC universe, Godzilla emerges on the coast of Metropolis and starts stomping towards the city. Superman sees this while he's having dinner with Lois Lane on top of a building, so he goes to meet Godzilla face to face. And this is where issue 2 picks up, with Superman hovering right in front of Godzilla's face, saying, "I don't know if you can understand me or be reasoned with at all, but your presence is a danger to the people of Metropolis. And we can't have that, so let's take whatever this is somewhere else." Godzilla just stares at him, growling, with Superman continuing to say, "The way you're staring at me, is it me you want?" But Godzilla just responds by starting to pulse radioactive blue. We then see Superman say, "I'll take that as a yes," as he gives him a right hook. Supes then says, "I warned you, big guy, now I really need to get you out of the city and back to the sea before you cause any more harm." But as Superman is flying around him, Godzilla tail whips him through several skyscrapers, similar to what he did to the Muto in 2014's Godzilla film. Superman then gets up for one of the buildings he finally comes to a stop in, with one of the employees saying, "We're fine, but do you know how much that copier cost?" Superman replies offhand, "No, but don't worry, we have insurance for this sort of stuff." Flash then shows up saying, "We definitely do, but you don't want to see what our premiums look like." Flash then tells Superman the rest of the team is on the way. "That's a really big thing out there," Superman replies, "and strong," as he flies out to go face Godzilla again. Elsewhere, we see Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Hawkgirl, Green Arrow, and Green Lantern heading to aid Superman. Green Lantern asks Wonder Woman, "Shouldn't we be figuring out where they went instead of flying to Metropolis to help Superman? I mean, he's Superman." Wonder Woman replies, "Cyborg said it's very urgent. If you're wondering what Green Lantern means by figuring out where they went, he's referring to the Legion of Doom who disappeared in the first issue after an explosion. And remember, it was that explosion that caused them to be transported to Skull Island on another Earth before being wished back via Toyman and the Dreamstone." Anyway, as they're making their way to assist, Supergirl says Cyborg called us for the assist because Superman has a big problem. Cyborg then radios into all of them saying, "About that, I've got an update. We've got another big problem." Actually, make that 3 more big problems, all of which seem to have appeared at the same time. At this point, we see the Titan Scylla in Central City, the Titan Commissats in Gotham City, Behemoth in Themyscira, and of course Godzilla in Metropolis. All Titans us Monsterverse fans are familiar with, and it's so good to see them in the DC universe. Superman then tells the League it looks like we're gonna have to divide and conquer, with Cyborg responding, "I've put calls out to all available heroes, auxiliary leagues, associates, everyone." We then see Hawkgirl is headed to help Superman, the Flash, Green Lantern, and Supergirl are on their way to Central City, and Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, and Wonder Girl will deal with Themyscira. We then transition to Batman, where we see him getting in his Batwing saying, "Appreciate the heads up, Cyborg, but we've got Gotham City covered," as the Bat family assembles to protect their city, with Cyborg saying, "I'll join you, headed to Gotham now." We also see Black Canary on the Gotham Bridge saying, "Count me in, 3 minutes out." As Wonder Woman and Green Arrow are headed to Themyscira, Green Arrow notices a strange island below them saying, "There's not supposed to be an island there." Wonder Woman agrees, and they fly down to check it out. And this suspicious place is Skull Island, which Toyman wished here via the Dreamstone. Anyway, after looking around for a minute and suspecting the mysterious island is connected to the emerging monsters, Green Arrow volunteers to stay and investigate while Diana continues on to Themyscira. But I have a feeling that this pit stop probably won't end well. Although you know what can end very well? Bidding on killer items at Pristine Auction's new pop culture auction. If you're like us, you're always on the lookout for great collectibles to add to your inventory, which is why you gotta check out Pristine Auction. I'm talking dope collectibles like this Christian Bale signed Batman mask and this Benedict Cumberbatch signed Doctor Strange Funko Pop. We've been ringing the bell for today's sponsor, Pristine Auction, for a while now, and for good reason. They're one of the most trusted memorabilia auction sites around, and they might have the most impressive and extensive catalog of collectibles at auction I've ever seen. And as you can see, their pop culture auctions are a good example of that, because you could find signed items from your favorite TV shows, movies, comics, music, and more. The best part is that auctions start at only $20, have no reserves, and they run from Friday to Friday. Literally, every time I visit their auctions, I find something new that causes my jaw to drop. And Pristine actually makes it possible to take the him home with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's leading authenticators. So do yourself a favor and use our link in the description to go check out Pristine Auction and their brand new pop culture category. You'll be shocked at the items they have available to bid on. And when you use registration code VARIANT, you'll get $10 off your first order. Just click below. Now jumping back to the story, we're taken to the Legion of Doom's headquarters where Black Manta and Tigra are trying to figure out if everyone on their team is accounted for and back on their Earth. Black Manta also explains to Tigra that Toyman is responsible for bringing all these monsters back using the Dreamstone. Then on the next page, we see Lex Luthor being woken up in his office by Mercy Graves, who asks, "When did you arrive here?" A confused Lex replies, "Here," before sitting up and saying to himself, "Toyman." He then asks Mercy, "What's going on?" She replies, "A full-scale evacuation of the city. There's a giant monster fighting Superman, and there are reports of monsters in Gotham City and Central City. We have to get out of here." But Lex just tells her, "Head to the bunker," and says, "I need a full download on what's happening." And that takes us back to the main event as we see Superman hovering in the air trying to get Godzilla's attention and lure him back into the ocean. But it's not working out so well as we see Lois Lane look on with Jimmy Olsen telling her, "Come on Lois, we gotta go." Meanwhile, back in Gotham City, the Bat family attack Kamazats. Batman and Batwoman are attacking him from the air while Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, Cyborg, and Black Canary are on the ground. Batman realizes that the monster's scream it's attacking them with is sonic, meaning its own power could be potentially used against it. So they're trying to devise a plan and buying time by shooting it with missiles and flying around it. But Red Hood decides he could take this thing out with a sniper rifle straight to the monster's eye. Batman and the whole Bat family order him to stand down, but Red Hood, being Red Hood, shoots him in the eye anyway. But all it does is piss the monster off, causing it to use its sonic energy blast to destroy buildings, putting more civilians in harm's way. Thankfully, Black Canary shows up and uses her canary cry to disintegrate most of the rubble before it can continue to fall and harm more people. Nightwing then tells Red Hood, "I told you not to do that," with Red Hood saying, "I'm sorry, I thought I had him." Nightwing says, "You didn't. Stop your freelancing and listen." Red Hood replies, "To you? So now you're actively trying to be him," referring to Batman. At this point, Batgirl steps in and knocks out Red Hood. Batwoman then lands the Batwing she's in on a nearby roof, then Cyborg uses the engine thruster from it to make a sonic amplifier that Black Canary can scream through to take out this Titan. So Batman is continuing to distract the Beast while Batwoman and Canary get in position, at which point Canary screams through the sonic amplifier, knocking out the Titan. This causes it to fall to the ground like a bird shot out of the air. Batman walks away from the Titan as it falls behind him, saying, "Well done," as he had previously ejected from his Batwing. We are then brought back to the main fight, if you will, with Superman and Godzilla. But now remember, Hawkgirl is also helping him, so Superman tells her, "Don't let up. We've got a speed and agility advantage." She replies, "I think we're just annoying him." He tells her, "As long as we keep him focused on us, we are buying the city time to evacuate." She says, "Understood, but then what? Sooner or later, we need to come up with a real plan to beat him." Superman says, "I'll settle for getting him out of any population center." At this point, Godzilla backhands Hawkgirl out of the sky, but out of nowhere, Shazam comes flying in, catching her, saying, "Not going so well, I take it." Superman flies into Godzilla, giving him a massive uppercut, but it just pisses him off as his mouth starts to glow blue, with Shazam saying, "That doesn't look good." Godzilla then uses his atomic breath blast on Superman, but Superman just counters with his heat vision as Superman tells Shazam, "Get back." Anyway, Shazam then says they're at a standstill, and yes they are, and it is a glorious panel. I'm just geeking out. This looks crazy. You literally have Godzilla and his atomic blast with Superman and his heat vision at a stalemate. This is all the nerd's dreams come true. Shazam then says Supes needs something to tip the scales, but I don't have heat rays. He then gets on the top of Godzilla's head and says Shazam, calling down lightning on Godzilla's head, which stuns him briefly, but now he's turned back to Billy Batson. And he starts falling back to the ground, so Superman has to sweep him out of the air before he hits the ground, with Billy saying, "That was awesome." Superman tells him it was too risky. Don't do that again. As we see Godzilla is ramping up another atomic breath blast, Superman says, "Turn back now." Billy does try to say Shazam, but he can't in time, so Superman is forced to shield Billy from the atomic blast, knocking Superman out of the air and to the ground, all burnt and unconscious, as Billy gets up saying, "Superman?" We then see Godzilla standing triumphant in the background. That's right, Godzilla just KO'd the Man of Steel. That was not something I thought we were gonna see. So Godzilla has taken round one against Superman. Yes, Godzilla got some unexpected help when Superman had to turn his attention to protect a young Billy Batson. And you have to imagine Big Blue is going to come out swinging in round two, but for now it's Godzilla 1, the Man of Steel 0, which demonstrates once again why he is the king of monsters. Issue 3 of the series is scheduled for release on December 19th, and after this crazy cliffhanger, we'll be right back here to talk about what happens when the next issue drops. Because there are so many questions. Is Superman gonna need time to recover after being hit by Godzilla's atomic blast, or is he just gonna get right back up and get back in the fight. Will the radiation from another universe have a more lingering or unexpected effect on Superman? I need answers, people, so I can't wait for the next issue. This is shaping up to be one of the most fun series I've read in a bit. Honestly, DC seems to really nail it with these crossover events. Think Justice League vs. Power Rangers and Batman TMNT, just to name a few. And this series is right up there on that dope meter. But now it's your turn to sound off on this story. Are you digging this series as much as we are? And what do you hope happens next? Let us know down in the comments. Otherwise, we'll see you next time when I talk about all things comics.